Welcome to What the Wrestling, the podcast where you break down the biggest moments, hottest takes, and the wildest stories from the world of pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or just stepping into the squared circle, we're here to give you the real scoop on everything happening in the ring.
I'm your host, RJD, and we're about to take a ride through the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Get ready for all our hot takes, deep dives, and all the wrestling you never knew you needed.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and join What the Wrestling family so you never miss an episode. Now let's.
You're listening to the What the Wrestling podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Tis I, RJD here. Welcome to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. Once again, I am your host. Monday Night Raw review is upon us, and once again, we're here for a short time, not a long time. So hit the like button. Hit the like button, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Just making sure I jot down my notes. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Y'all hit the like button. Follow me, RJD, on X, RJ699. RJ699 on X. I almost said something else. And as always, follow What's the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at What the Wrestling. So, we had no updates to the channel. So don't got to worry about any updates right now. But we're going to get this real quick. Monday Night Raw. So I'm not going to say Monday Night Raw has been bad. I'm not going to say that. But when you look at it, it's like not a lot happens. And I don't want to say it's formulaic, but not a lot happens. Good to see the War Raiders back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like seven things that in 2 hours and what was it, 3 hours? I mean, I don't know. It just seems to me like there's not a lot going on Monday Night Raw, on SmackDown, but there are elements of the show I do like. So let's get into this. First things first, Jey Uso is okay. Thank God he doesn't have a concussion. That's a good thing. Shout out to Jay, Mr. Big Bronson Reed. what's going on with your back, bro? Your back has like a bungee in it or something? I don't understand. But Jey Uso and LA Knight continue their kerfuffle, and they went at it tonight. And because of the distraction from the Vision, Jey Uso gets the spear and the win. Jimmy confronted Jey early in the night, asking why Jey was worried about the match with LA Knight instead of a rematch with the Vision. He is not feeling this LA Knight guy. He just does not care. Nope. Oh, where's my nope?
Nope.
He just doesn't care. He's not feeling this guy. Jey blamed their loss at WrestlePalooza on LA Knight as the ref. But after that, they attacked, and Jimmy wanted to go help LA Knight. Jey was like, oh, hell no.
Nope.
So Jey left, and Jimmy went down there instead to go help him out. So that happened. Brought the chair with him. So this is an ongoing, continuing thing. So we're going to see what happens with LA Knight, who is losing quite a bit. But let's see what's up with the whole Jey, LA Knight, Jimmy kerfuffle going on. Rusev, the Redeemer, formerly the Redeemer. Excuse my cat if you hear that. If you hear my cat going crazy. But Rusev beat JD McDonough with the game over. Oh, sorry, wrong company. With the accolade. Dom jumped up on the apron and was about to interfere with the match, but he decided against it, and he went down. As we all know, Rusev is going for that Intercontinental Championship, and he's probably going to kick Dom's ass, most likely. So after that, Finn Balor turned him down. JD McDonough was convinced to help, only to find out it meant a match with Rusev. Balor ran in to save McDonough after the match because he would not let go of the move, and Rusev continued his attack post-match, leading to an argument between Balor and Mysterio because he's like, why didn't you help him? Why didn't you help him? So, I don't know. Sure looks like the Judgment Day set to implode any day now. Bayley, who was very interesting on this show. I'm digging this voices in my head character. Shout out to Randy Orton. She beat Roxanne Perez with the Rose Plant. After that, or earlier in the night, Lyra Valkyria went up to Bayley and was like, hey. And Bayley was like, hi, how you doing? Not to mention that she was going crazy last week in her own dressing room, talking to herself. But we're just going to gloss over that. So she ended up going out with her, and Lyra Valkyria was out there with her at ringside. She wins the match, and then Lyra Valkyria, I guess, went to go touch her, and Bayley shoved the holy hell out of her and snapped. She took out Perez. She beat them up, and then Valkyria attempted to congratulate Bayley after the match, but Bayley shoved her into the ground and said, "You think it's okay to touch me?" And Lyra Valkyria is like, what the f is going on here? So I am loving this Bayley character. She's crazy, man. She's crazy. I love it. It's awesome. I want to see where they go with this, because when people do things like this, you get to see. That's why I love heel characters, because you get to see their character work. You get to see, not that people like being an asshole. It depends on the type of heel they are. But when somebody's not genuinely a nice person, or they just want to smile all the time and they just want to hug people and they're playing a character, that's exhausting because you're not being yourself. A lot of these people, then they could be a heel, and it gives them an excuse to A, be more like themselves, and B, do some really messed up stuff that, and you can get away with it, and you could do messed up stuff and say messed up stuff that you might not normally say, and it's fun because you can play around with it. You could do a little more. You could get a little bit more creative with it. But if you got to get people to like you, and you got to smile, it's very hard to be authentic if that's not you. It's hard to come off authentic. And then you have like the anti-heroes, the Vegetas, the Stone Colds, and the Rocks, who would say, you fans know your role and shut your mouth. And we all say, yes, Rock, you're awesome, even though you're crapping all over us. You entertain us, we like you. So, listen, I love when people go heel and you get to see that personality come out, because they get to talk their junk And listen, we gotta put some respect on Bayley's name. Like she wasn't a part of, bringing this whole thing together. Her and Sasha Banks NXT. That's all I'm gonna say. So go watch it. It was awesome. All right, Stephanie Von Kerr. She spoke 2 days after winning the vacant women's championship title at WrestlePalooza. Von Kerr spoke of the sacrifices that she's made, her dream, and that she would beat SmackDown's Tiffany Stratton, the women's WWE champion. And she would go face to face with her at Crown Jewel, and she'll show up and talk that talk. And her and Tiffany Stratton, I think, are going to have a kick-ass match. So I'm all for it. The War Raiders and El Penta Cero Miedo fought the New Day and Grayson Waller. So in a 6-man no DQ match, the finish came when Penta hit a freaking Canadian Destroyer from the top rope, which looked like it sucked for Mr. Grayson Waller. Looked like it sucked. So we also had Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins go face to face. They came and they're going to have a champion versus champion match at Crown Jewel. Rollins said that he knows what everyone thinks of him, but he wanted to know what Cody Rhodes thinks of him. Cody Rhodes said that Rollins has made questionable decisions, but that Rollins also changed his life in their past matches, but Rollins is hiding behind the rest of the division. Rhodes ended things by saying that all their other matches have been one-on-one and asking Rollins if this would be one-on-one as well. And for Rollins to remember how many of their previous matches that he has won. If Rollins don't get his win back at this match, the man put him over 4 times in a row. It's going to be hard for me to pick Cody when I do my predictions. This really is. Because you put the man over not once, you put him over at Mania. Then you put him over at the next pay-per-view. A couple months later, you put him over again. Then you put him over again with a torn pec. And he was out for 9 months. I mean, woo, shit. You put the man over 4 times. I mean, what more do you want from me? Shout out to Tyrese. I don't understand, man. Cody Rhodes, I don't think he's winning. I think Seth Rollins. It's over 9,000. Seth Rollins is winning that match. I think. That's what I think. Then we had Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. We had Asuka and Io and Rhea Ripley and Kairi Sane. We got all of these women going at it because they're fighting over Io and who's Io gonna hang with. And at the end of the day, Rhea Ripley gets the win by rolling up Asuka. Kairi Sane tried to intercept, but she ended up costing her the damn match. She rolled her up. Rhea Ripley goes to celebrate, and she catches the mist in the face. And not only, not only does she catch the mist, but, Jesus Christ. Not only does she catch the mist, but Io comes down to save one of her friends, and she gets back-fisted in the face. Oh, no. And Asuka has turned to the dark side, and she's gotten Kairi Sane to come along with her. After that, she beat him up, and then they hit Io with the insane elbow neck drop tandem, and they got up out of there. And that was your main event. Excuse the background noise. I do live in the inner city. Sorry about that. But she went on to win and beat them, and now Asuka is bad. And she told Stephanie Von Kerr early in the night, I will show you why you are not ready for Asuka. Shout out to all of these ladies. I just want to give a shout out to the ladies. And the reason why is because these ladies, English is not their first language. So English is not their first language. And all of their English has gotten a lot better. Between Von Kerr, who's doing interviews in English, between Asuka, between Kairi Sane, Io, like they don't gotta cut 10, 20, 30-minute promos, but think about how hard that has to be. English is not your first, that's like me. Spanish is not my first language, even though I am practicing Spanish diligently every day. It's not hard. It's just, you got to be consistent with it to learn. So think about, that's like me going into like CMLL or something and cutting a promo in Spanish. And Spanish is not my first language. Not only do you have to remember what the words are and what they mean, you have to remember what you have to say. On top of, you have to remember how to say it. And that must be incredibly difficult, because they didn't speak a lot of Spanish. Because you could kind of get away with it in the ring. 1 word, 2 words, you could kind of plan out the match. I'm sure there's ways around that in the ring, especially if you got good chemistry with somebody or you're friends with somebody and y'all just work well together and they don't speak English or whatever. You could say a word here, a word there, and you can get through a match, 15-minute match, whatever, 10, 15-minute match. But to go out there and cut promos, you got to remember what you got to say, on top of remember what the words actually are and what they mean. Yeah, that's rough. So shout out to the ladies, man, for cutting these promos. And I don't care that they're not, because I saw a comment somewhere, might have been on TikTok. I saw a comment somewhere that people were talking junk about the ladies' Spanish and all that. And I'm cutting promos, and all their promos aren't that good, bro. You know how hard that is. Like, come on, we gotta show them a little love. Like, yeah, they're not gonna be MJF out there. They don't need to be. They just need to convey the message and get the point across. That's it. And the more English they speak, the better they'll get. So shout out to all these ladies. They're all awesome. Gotta shout out the ladies, because that is no easy thing. Other than that, and Penta too. Shout out Penta, because I know his English has gotten a lot better as well. So shout out Penta. Other than that, that was your Monday Night Raw. It was okay, I guess. It was all right. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy to talk about. It was what it was. I'm going to look at NXT. I heard they're doing some good things with the TNA invasion and all of that. If something exciting OD happens, I will talk about it. But NXT, watching you. As for me, I'm out. That's all I got for y'all. I am on to the next one. Everybody be safe. I'm out. Peace.